Do you love made-for-TV movies? We sure do. We always have. In 30 years of friendship, we've laughed, cried, diagnosed, and obsessed over every made-for-TV movie we could get our eyes on.
Did you know that most made-for-TV movies are about amazing people who have risked their lives to change the world?
We'll be taking you through the last 60 years of some of the most powerful stories. We'll see what's changed and what's exactly the same.
We also love a nice synthesizer and a sweet satin blouse. And we think you will too.
I'm Steph.
I'm Liz.
And this is
No One Would Tell, Except Us podcast.
Welcome to season 2 of No One Would Tell, Except Us podcast.
Welcome.
I can't believe we made it to season 2.
I can't believe there was a season 1, but hey.
Right? And honestly, we have a lot of support and a lot of listeners, and we really, really appreciate it because this is just a blast for us. So
it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, but no thanks, Mom. You haven't listened yet.
Kendra needs to tune in.
She did tell me, though, that Trader Joe's is out of their high fiber cereal, and it is a thing. So Trader Joe's, you had better get on it.
Also, I'm totally dating this, but is everywhere still out of eggs? Can we still not get eggs?
Well, I did find mine at Costco.
Okay.
But, it's pretty bare and, it's kind of scary. I know. I was like, should I buy a bunch of, flaxseed? Because, you can make, a vegan egg out of that.
Yes.
But then I was like, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have announced that here. Someone's going to steal my secret.
That's right. People are dying to make vegan eggs. And
it's delicious.
I never even heard of that. So
yeah, if you need it for, baking. I mean, you can't, fry it on the pan. That would be gross. But,
you can't dip bacon into it.
Could try.
Then forget it. So yeah, season 2. So, okay, we don't have totally extreme haircuts, going from season 1 to season 2. We're the same.
I'm always the same.
And no one has replaced us in season 2. So it's we had our pilot season, but we're keeping things the same. We're not changing anything. All right. So to kick off season 2, we thought, what is a movie that Liz has thought about daily for years? And
not just years. This came out in 2010?
I believe so, but I'm going to confirm that.
I think it was 2010. If not, it was 2009. But
2009. Yep.
2009. Okay, I blamed myself for wanting to watch this, think about it so much because I was postpartum because I had at least 2010, but now I have no excuse.
I mean, after 2011, you probably should have been okay to drop it, right?
6 weeks in, I should have, but it lingered. And I have a lot of theories on why it lingered in my brain for so long, and we'll get into that.
Okay, well, we are talking about Taken in Broad Daylight, 2009.
Yes.
It's on Tubi for anyone who's interested, if you can deal with the ads.
YouTube has it too. Without
YouTube
a
has
lot
it?
of ads, yeah.
Okay. I don't need to watch it again, but I did start and I was like, wow, I have a lot of thoughts. So Liz, why don't you give us a quick synopsis so everyone knows what went down?
Okay, so this movie is completely based on true events, and at first I thought they had lied a lot, made up a lot of stuff in the movie, but actually after I read the court notes, a lot of it was true. It was just the props they used that were changed, and it was stupid, the props they used in exchange for what actually happened, because what actually happened makes way more sense than the movie.
Okay.
But it's actually pretty true to form, which was amazing. And this is the story of Anne Sluti. I think it's Sluti.
I think it's Sluti, yes.
Okay. She's a 17-year-old girl. It's 2001. She exits. She goes to the mall to buy a CD, and I believe she was listening to it on her Walkman or CD player, whatever they're called. I can't remember anymore. Anyway, she's listening to it, and she's walking to her car, and a man named Anthony Wright, a.k.a. Tony Zappa. He likes to be called that. I don't know why.
It's got zip. Got a lot of zip, that name.
Yeah. he just like straight up tries to he tries and does kidnap her, and
Right.
there's a struggle in the parking lot, and people watch it. Like it's not like quiet at all. She's screaming at one point. She actually does exit the car on the opposite like passenger side. She gets out the door and he comes around and just starts pounding on her until she's unconscious, throws her in the back of his SUV and drives off. And people do call 911. This is in Nebraska, I believe, but they're gone. And now it's basically like the race against time. It's Anne's parents and the police force trying to find Anne alive and capture Tony Zappa, and also Anne's tale of her survival. And in actuality, for being 17, the things that she thinks of and does is quite remarkable, because she really does like keep herself from being killed. And
Yeah.
she really does like psychologically think about how to calm down this violent person, and it works. I mean, she suffers, she is raped, she's beaten, but she is alive. And this is her story.
Okay. So I turned it on and I listened to the opening music, and
Oh, that opening music was amazing.
I saw the title text with like the slight drop shadow, but some words were capitalized and some weren't. I don't even know if it was correct. And I was like, wow, okay, let me buckle up. Like an hour and 23 minutes. Got it. So, yeah, it just opens and it's real corny, right? Like she's at track practice. She has a boyfriend and best friend watching her, which I don't think is even realistic, because it's like after you go to one of those things, you're like, okay, I know what this is. And
especially like a practice, right? Like it's not even a meet.
Practice. It's a practice. And I'm like, sure. And then I don't know, it's like the boyfriend's not really a boyfriend type. Like, I don't know.
I wrote like she's borderline rude. Like he's not. He's just like, oh hey, Ann. And then you're like, oh, yeah. Is this like the boy best friend? Like, you know, and she's like, she didn't seem interested in him whatsoever at all.
He wants to watch Charlie's Angels again, which I don't
the Drew
know.
Barrymore one.
I mean, 2009. Yeah, I guess. Right. But then
it's gotta be.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe they're a throuple. Who knows? But these three are just really unrealistic in my mind.
Well, the reason, yes, they are unrealistic. And the music was fantastic. And I will say, immediately when the music came on, in my brain, I was like, this is so familiar. And I'm like, I'm feeling something that I don't feel when I watch made-for-TV movies. What is going on? And then across the screen comes up, directed by Gary Yates. And I'm like, Gary Yates? Ooh la la. Like, I know that name, and I don't know director's name. So what is happening? So I, like, you know, immediately Google him, and I'm like, it all makes sense. He has directed some of the best Canadian Hallmark Christmas movies I've ever seen. So.
All right. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you watch Canadian films, which, like, I'm real familiar with. Like, I love a good Canadian film. Low budget, like, that's the best. And like, I'm obsessed with Degrassi, like the OG, like not like the 80s, but like the late 90s. Yeah. Like where Drake was in it. Like, if you guys don't know that, you should definitely watch and see Drake in a whole new light. Because he's like always will be Jimmy to me.
Yeah. And like, you're like, he's not sexy anymore. No.
His character is like, literally, I'm like, you can't look at Drake the same way again. So please do that. But yeah, Canadian is like, their film is like amazing. Like, it's so hokey. Like, it's just like, you feel so good. Like, that is Hallmark. Like, it's supposed to be like a fake feel good. Like, you know.
Yeah, and this was a very fake feel good.
And like, their music that they use, you could definitely like, you know, it's one of those like, everyone can download it for free. Like, you don't have the rights. Yeah. So they have that. Yeah, in the beginning of this film, it's like, but you're like, this sounds like every other song, but I can't place the song.
Yes.
And they're all just like really freaking happy. Like, they're
Yeah.
just like, that's Canadian like films. And then their like punchlines are very like, like, it's just like, it's very hokey. And
that makes a lot of sense. Like the audio guy's like, hey, Gare, what movie, what music should we open with? And he's like, just go with what we used from like Jingle All the Babe, right? Like,
yes,
throw that in there.
Yes, like he, and I wrote, I was like, he definitely is trying to also like save a Christmas farm in this film because like, I'm just waiting for the parents to be like, the hot chocolate factory is still open.
That's right. And yeah, you could pretty much put this cast in a movie like that and it would still be the same feeling.
Exactly. In fact, is James Vanderbeek Canadian?
He's
the star.
Think he is, but let's fact check because we don't want to.
Yeah,
we don't want to say in case he's listening. We don't want to offend him.
I think he is. Like, I'm sure the majority. In fact, I think the mom in it I've seen in some Canadian films. In this film,
yeah, he is American. So,
oh darn it! Well, he seems Canadian to me.
That's okay.
But
he does. So, yeah. So it's like, okay, right away, she like loves her brother, right? Which is like
way
so
too
uncomfortable.
much.
And I was like, huh. And For the Love of Nancy, she loves her brother a lot. And maybe it's like at that age, if you love your brother a lot, like something bad is going to happen to you because it's just not normal.
But she like loves her brother and shows more affection to him than like her boyfriend. Like when her brother, I don't know, is he home from like the military? Like I couldn't figure out why he was back, but he's basically like at the door like, hey kiddo, and she like runs up and like bear hugs him, and then she does the whole like jump and put your legs and they like twirl. And I was like, in what world do people at that age hug their brothers like that?
I don't know anyone that does that.
Again, I'd punch him and be like, great, you're home? Like, why?
Yeah, like Charlie, my brother and I have a few pictures where we somehow look like engaged. I don't know how. And then we're like, let's burn these immediately. Because, yeah, that's just not really what people do.
No.
But she loves him. She loves him. And, you know, he's totally like, you know, dipping into steroids. Like, he's that type. Like, it's like... He probably needs some emotional support.
He looks like he was on Degrassi. Like, I was like, were you on Degrassi? Like, he has that vibe. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about.
You're like, I'm just going to watch Degrassi and not finish this movie.
It probably would have been a smarter choice.
Yeah, it probably would have. All right. So they're like having, you know, a family dinner. And then I seriously thought they meant it when they're like, can you get your brother more potatoes? Like, I thought that was just like a regular thing there. I was like, that sounds right to me.
Yeah.
But they're not.
No, they want her to find the most largest envelope. Like, I don't know how she missed it by the bowl of potatoes, but she like, that must have been a big bowl. And she like walks over and she's like, what does this mean? Did I get in? And I was like, Anne, sweetheart, everyone knows the big envelope is you got in. Do you think like Ontario University is going to send you like a giant envelope and be like, sorry, you didn't get in? Yeah,
those glossy brochures are expensive. Like,
they're not doing
that. They are.
Yeah.
And, you know, so of course they opened her mail, which is not a surprise because they're just weird. Like, you can tell there's weirdness. And so she's like, oh my gosh. And it's like, you know, they're so happy. And like, I think the dad gives her like $10 or something to congratulate her.
It's like little Caesar coins or like, like Chuck E. Cheese. He's like, don't spend that all in one place, Anne.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I think her parents are like in this movie, like robots. Like they have very little emotion throughout the entire film. I can't tell when they're excited. I can't tell when they're sad. I can't tell anything. Only the brother shows like actual emotions, albeit odd emotions, but he's not a robot. and they're
No.
just like robotic, and she's super psyched, and she's like, I have to go buy a CD for my boyfriend for
Right.
our 3rd year anniversary, or I don't know,
Yes.
something like that.
She's like, I got to get to the mall. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, like, we
Yeah.
want to just stare at each other all night. And she's like, I'm going to go out. I'll be back.
They're like, don't worry, we'll be in the same place, exact position when you get home.
Yeah, they're like,
She's like,
we'll
I
save you
know.
some instant potatoes. So, yeah. So, did you notice, like, when she's leaving that mall, obviously she's like dancing and like listening to and learning lyrics, like in the booklet, which I don't know who does that back then, but
Well, it's
she
2001, so maybe.
oh yeah, you're right.
I did that. Like, when I saw her running out, I was like, that was me, like, listening to Hanson. Like, honestly, I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, you were obsessed, but I don't remember you like learning the lyrics while you're walking and like dancing around a parking lot. But maybe you did. I don't know. It was just like she almost crashes into a woman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she almost like gets hit by a car. Like a car has to swerve because she's like bopping around.
Like,
you know?
yeah, she definitely, like, she was playing with danger that day. Like, someone was like, you're going to die in some way, and you keep
Yeah.
avoiding it.
Yeah, like she would have been better off getting whacked by the car. But I mean, whatever. So then we've got that amazing music again, right? And then it's
Yes.
like abrupt.
Yes.
Like it's like holy B word. Like James
Yes.
Vanderbeek comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Like, he's just like, boom. And it's like, whoa, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah, like he was hiding under a car or something. Like he
Yes.
like, out of
He
nowhere.
yes, he was parked, and this is, I think, in the actual events, like right next to her car. So he must have been like crouched or something, and he was
Okay.
just like looking for, I don't know how he knew a young girl walked in there and that was her car. Maybe he watched her before she went into the store. I don't know.
Yeah. So then it's like that music that's like, I don't know, the beginning of like that Sting song, or like the music they use when it's like terrorism in a movie, but
Yes.
they don't like know anything about culture. So they just like put the chant music in. Like it's like that music. Like it's like, this is really disturbing.
Yes.
And we don't know where it's from.
No. So he's
Yeah.
like attacking her. And I remember thinking to myself, like, whoa, James Vanderbeek, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. And I was like, is that just me? Was he actually working and I just didn't know because I was watching Gary Yates movies? Like, I
Right.
don't know. But
Right.
like, he kind of did take not a huge pause, but like going from Dawson's Creek, which was like a phenom in the 90s, to this movie, it was kind of like a pause. And I mean, he did like small roles, but nothing like substantial. And so I think that's why when he was the killer, it was, or not the killer, he didn't kill her, but like the kidnapper, I was like, whoa, I haven't seen you, mister. Like, he looks better now than in Dawson's Creek.
Oh,
What's
I don't know.
going
You
on?
wanted to.
I think that's also why it was very like jolting, because like Dawson is like, I mean, I didn't really watch too much of that show, but he's just kind of like, meh, meh, to go to like, you know, this crazy, like, very, I mean, it was a bad written movie, but he played that part well, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't scared of him, but I thought that he did bring it. And again, it's one of those things where like his agent was like, we need to revamp your career. Like, we need to show your range. Like, you need to read this script. And, you know, that is something that we are seeing, right, in these movies. Like,
Yes.
it's like these people need another lease on their career, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
And this was definitely different for him.
It was.
So there's a bunch of like useless tweens and or old people like watching this attack, right? They're just like standing there watching.
Yeah, they're just kind of like stunned. And I mean, you know, taken in like, I'm assuming, I mean, Nebraska, I don't think it's extremely popular. I don't think any place is extremely populated compared to like other states.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a place where you would necessarily think of something like this happening, because it's kind of like a nice, gentle Midwestern state. At least that's the appearance that I always have gotten. And when I've talked to people from Nebraska, they're like, I absolutely love it there. Like, it's very calm.
Yeah.
So it's probably very jolting to the people. And I mean, they did call 911. It wasn't like they just like stood there and were like, oh, have a nice day. Like it was like, what the freak? Like this girl's
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah.
But he was just so quick. And I think what's interesting is that the actual, guy, his name is Anthony Wright. He likes Tony Zappa. What should we call him?
Call him Tony.
All right. Sounds.
Yeah. Call him
Sounds.
Tony.
He actually was like chased by I think the FBI at the Mall of America, like prior to this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he escaped, which I mean, that is a humongous mall. I guess there's a lot of ways to get out, but he was calculated, and he was obviously very like street smart, and I don't know where I was going with that. But like, he
You respect him. You have a lot of respect for him, Liz. That's where you were going.
I think it's just like he was quick. That was my point. Was that
like sleuth, like he's like a sleuth.
Yes, it wasn't like he like was making all these like mistakes and stuff like to get her. Like he kind of knew what he was doing. So I don't blame the bystanders for not like getting his, I can't think of any words right now. His plates. I don't blame them for not getting the plates or being like, okay, you look like this and this. Like they had like basic identification, and then they did find her purse, her CD.
Yeah.
And when I thought about that, I was like, it just reminded me of the time, because I was like, this mall looks like Golf Mill. If anyone is familiar with like Golf Mill in Niles, Illinois, we're really familiar with it. And
know every nook and cranny at that place for sure. For
we would go there like on a Saturday, and it'd be like, drop us off at 10 and pick us up at 6. And I was like, what do we do all day?
I know. It was every Saturday.
Every Saturday, and nothing changed. And yet I remember being so tired from the sleepover, like that Friday night, that we would like lay our heads down on the like tables, like the dining area.
Like you would think we didn't have anywhere to live. Like we really, I mean, the one good thing I will say is like we definitely got a lot of steps in. Like we did our steps. Like we definitely covered a lot, of ground.
Oh, but we really did.
There were sometimes we were there for like 5 or 6 hours, and like we didn't even go through the whole mall.
No, barely. Like we go to like, that's why it reminded me. I always bring this up, but like I'll never forget when we went to Record Town, and like I was like, buy this Usher single, and you were like, why? It's like $5 and it's one song. And I was like, it's Make You Wanna. Like, we have to get it. And it's so good. We bought it. And it was like, half of it was instrumental. It was like, da-na-na-na-na. And I was like, what? Do you still have yours?
Do I still have my Usher CD? I've moved maybe 20 times. I don't think so. If I do,
you should check.
It's in my dad's storage room. And every time I go to my dad's house, he's like, you need to get rid of everything in the storage room. And I never do. So if I have it, it's in there. I'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Well, maybe that was her CD on the ground. I'm just saying. She looked like an Usher.
Great. No, that's too cool. She would not buy that.
That's
is
true.
Way too cool.
And that came out in like 1996. So we've dated ourselves here. But
so all these people are like, did we just see what we know we just saw? Like, did that just happen? And it's like, it did. It did happen. And we need to get on it. So can we please talk about the shining star, which is LeVar Burton? Can we please talk about Reading Rainbow?
Please. Thank you. I could not place where he was from, and I was too lazy to look him up. But I'm like, I know you. I loved Reading Rainbow.
When I saw him, I was like, okay, I might finish this movie. Like, I might be able to finish this. I'm not a Star Trek fan. A lot of people are.
Right.
Obviously, he is known for Star Trek and Reading Rainbow. So
I had no idea.
He's already doing his detective work. I just felt better with him being there right away. So
he's a calming force, like in all of this, and he like plays kind of like a special role, because I don't know if this was true to life, but in the movie they made it seem like he was like a personal family friend, and that he like knew they didn't really allude to why, but like he knew Anne Sluti like very, very, very well.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, and maybe I missed a huge chunk of this because at the end, we'll get to the end, but
Yeah.
like I'm glad you said that. So we'll circle back. But
Steph, like most things in this film, there's no reasoning why.
Okay.
It just happens, and you
All
have
right.
to accept it.
I'll go with it. Now that it's over.
Yeah, there's a lot in this film where I was like, what? That's not real life. And then I was like, shut up. This is what you live for.
Yeah, you're like, just enjoy it again. Okay, so then the brother and the dad, can we talk about like the biggest bag of chips I've ever seen that they're sitting with on the couch? Like it's like a sleeping bag full of chips. It's like a huge bag. And I hate when they like use the prop bags with like the top that's like perfectly cut. Like
Yes.
it's like it's like, can you just crinkle a bag and open it? You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like they can't use a real bag. I get it. There's branding and like a SKU number, but like, can you just open a bag and stop cutting off the top like a serial killer?
Or like when people like roll it so perfectly, like, and you see like the aluminum from like the inside of the chip bag and it's like rolled. Who rolls a potato chip bag like that?
No,
Nobody.
Nobody. Or it's like you're taking the chip bag to like a paper cutter. Like, come on. Can we just like open bags of chips in movies, please? Please.
I agree.
So yeah, they're doing that. And so that house is just dark too. Like that house.
The family's dark. I don't know what to say.
The whole film, I have notes, but like this lighting needs some work. Like there are shadows where there should not be shadows. And the lighting, I'm sorry. I know you're a fan of this production team, but the lighting is bad.
Everything's bad. The casting, the makeup.
The lighting is real bad.
I mean, it's like, this is a B film. Again, I just don't think you watch Canadian Hallmark Christmas movies to understand that, like,
I don't.
this is the best. And it's just like, it's like a niche, you know, like you just have to respect the craft stuff.
You're right. I will watch some for you because maybe then I'll appreciate this.
You better start with Gary Yates. I'll tell you that much, because that man is the artiste of this film and others.
I definitely will.
And like, what's up with the cops too that are like in there? They are like knocking stuff over. They're just like, I was like,
yeah, there's 24 cops in that house. There's
Yes.
24 cops in that house. Like, there's nowhere to stand. There's nowhere to go. And it's swarming. It's basically like every cop in the state needs to get here now.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But like, again, maybe that was true because like maybe there's not a lot going on. It was like, whoa, this is like the first. Because like when I lived in Naperville, like if somebody like jaywalked, it was like, like 3 cops would be there and be like, pull over. It's like, I'm walking.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here.
I mean, it's way too many cops.
Yeah.
And so then James Van Der Beek is driving, right?
Yes.
And he's freaking her out with the door locks, which was pretty good. That was pretty good.
So she's like slumped over and like comes to and obviously is like, what the freak? Like, where am I? And then
He's
realizes.
Like, why'd you scream back there?
What?
He's like, why'd you scream back there?
He's like, chill out. What you yelling for? Lay back. It's all been done before. And so like she peers down and is like, okay, this is bad. Because like you always know, at least I always thinking about like if you get taken or like captured, they always say like don't go to the second location.
Right.
Like that's like death. Like they're gonna kill you.
Right.
So I mean her instinct is to like jump out of the moving car, which I would contemplate that too. Like I would hope I would, because I might die probably, but I also might get away, and I'd rather die by my own hand than like someone torture me or do whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I'm just gonna jump out, and he sees that, and so he has like those child locks, and so he keeps like locking it, and then she's like, oh no, and then he'll unlock it and then relock it, and it's almost like, try to escape. I dare you. Go ahead. Like he's messing with her. real
Yeah,
bad.
that was pretty effective. Like I was like, all right, I'd be scared. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty good. So then and then we're back at the house. All the cops were like so gentle and soft spoken. And I was like, are they doing that to make James Vanderbeek look more do you know what I mean? Like, do they have to do that so that he looks more capable of doing what he's doing?
Yeah.
Because they're very, very,
They're
very
meek.
measured and gentle.
Meek and mild.
They're very mild cops.
Well, her parents are like dead. Like they're just like zombies. Like I wrote, are they zombies? Because they have like, would you just be like walking around staring? Like I would hope tears would be falling. Like they're not doing anything. They're just kind of like, maybe they are in shock, but it was too calm. Like I felt like she'd be like, I'm going to work. Bye. Like
yeah, it was eerie. And like,
it was.
LeVar reading rainbows, like, did you see he's like literally up in the dad's face? Like he's so like he's like gonna kiss him on the mouth. Like he's like so up in his face.
I mean, maybe they filmed this like in my old condo because there wasn't a lot of space. And we were
there wasn't space. I mean, they can't even get into like a bathroom. Like there's cops everywhere. So
I like when the cop walks by the bathroom and like the dad or mom like peers in, like, what are you doing? And he just like slams the door in her face.
I know. It was so
He's
amazing.
like, get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, you're useless, which, is true. Also, like, back to James Vanderbeek, like, did you notice, like, his skin looks really good? Like, it's, like, luminous. Like,
I'm
really good
telling
skincare.
you. Yes, that's why I think I paused, where I was like, I don't remember you. And he's kind of, like, way more buff than he was. Like, he was definitely, like, taking good care of himself in between Dawson and this role. Because in Dawson, I kind of felt like he was, like, almost, like, pudgy, like not
like dweeby.
Yeah, just kind of like his face was more full. Like he looks just like, I don't know, more like a man. Like I don't know, he just looked good.
Yeah, they're like, hit the gym and get a facial and then get to set. So then so then she's like kind of just embarrassing herself, really, right, in the shrubs, like when she's trying to like run away and he's
Well, he like blindfolds her and like tapes her and her like with duct tape, like her hands, and he's just like, if you can get this off your hands, then you can leave. And she like kind of like finds her way over. They're like at a field, and she finds like a barbed wire fence, which this actually happened.
Oh my gosh. Barbed wire is the one, well, not the one, but it like really, really freaks me out every single time.
Yes.
I feel like if you put a fingertip on barbed wire, your arm is going to get cut off.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have it at, at prisons. Like it's such a good deterrent, and you're going to get mangled. Like it's just, it's terrible. But that actually did happen. Like he messed with her like that. He was like, she was in a field, and she did find barbed wire, and she tried to like get it off, and then they didn't show this in the film, but in what actually happened is, obviously he was like, ha ha ha, you are not going anywhere. He tried to he had duct taped her wrist so tight that he tried to cut it off, but he couldn't, because it was like she got cut, and then he actually had to like burn it off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she got like a really bad burn on her arm. So like it was way worse, like actual events, which again, why did they leave that out of the film? Like it would have been way more like effective to show that like this, like also she was raped like 6 or 7 times. Like it wasn't once, it was many times.
I think Gare just didn't have the budget. And you know what? If that's the case, they should have ditched, LeVar Burton and James Vanderbeek and gotten unknowns. And use the budget in a different way, because it would have been a lot scarier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, her, like, the actual, like, all the events, like, she went through way more, like, violence and just kind of, like, tales of survival than they depict in this film. And I don't understand why they left that out, but...
Well, the only thing I can think of is, like, it is an hour and 23 minutes, which is a really odd amount of time for a film.
Not so for maybe Gary Yates, I can tell you that.
Maybe they shot more, and then they're like, oh, this is real bad. Like, we can't even use we can't even use this, you know?
He's like, we used a Crayola marker to make the burn on her arm. Doesn't look good. Oh,
maybe that happened. I could see that.
yeah.
So then he's like cleaning her face with spit and drives into the pond, right?
Yes, you think to yourself, like, this is not true. This did not happen. There's no way.
Right.
So he like crashes the car. Anne is in there. She's like all tied up. He gets out and he's like, he basically is like yelling at God. He's like, you thought you could kill me? And it's like, he's freaking out. He's having like a moment. And Anne's in there like, I'm going to drown.
Right. He's like, oh yeah, she's in there.
So she like is yelling for help because I think like instinctively, anytime you're in danger, you don't care at that point who helps you. You're just like trying to survive.
Right.
So she's yelling to her killer, not her killer. He doesn't kill her. Kidnapper. Like, like help, please help me. And he eventually, slowly, like gets her out of there. He does like help her, and he like throws her on top of the car. She's coughing, and
I mean, even like that scene, like it's so like the lighting, like it's like they took a strobe light, put it under her, so it's like shining up through the car, and like
this was probably filmed in a bathtub. Like
I couldn't make sense of it, and like I was like, why is this like this?
You have to understand, you have way too much more talent and experience in film, like for real, because you produce. And like, honestly, like you have to just understand this is bad and you have to let it go. And if you can't, then you can't follow Gary Yates.
No, I mean, it was like a flashlight up her nose. Like I saw up her whole nose, and I just didn't think that needed to be.
Was her nostril like red, like the glow?
Yeah. I was like, what? It was hard to follow. But yeah. Oh wait,
not for me.
The house, there's like 24 reporters because there's like 24 cops, right? So there's like 24 reporters outside of the house.
Yes.
While this is like the almost drowning is happening.
Right. But before we get into that, the one part that I want to say that was like really stuck out to me. So he like throws her like a rag doll, and she's alive, and you can tell in her face she's kind of like, I'm alive, but is this a better choice? Like, you know. But he says to her, I saved your life. I thought he said, I saved your life. I owed you. Like, I kidnapped you. I put you in this position. Like,
I owe you one.
Yeah. But then I was like, no. He says, I own. O-W-N. I own you. And I'm like, dang, no.
Yeah. It was real bad. And also, if you didn't have the subtitles, that wasn't clear. So, that is a big distinction.
Retaping scenes. You got one shot, and you better make it count.
One take, guys. Okay, so back at the house, it's like a media circus, and LeVar's talking, and all of the elderly neighbors just look like so confused. And
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I'm like, are they surprised because of the abduction? Are they surprised because he's like literally the only black person they've ever seen? Like, are they surprised? Like, they're really shocked. And then it's like the parents are like a wall away watching the news, and he's standing right outside the door on the news. So that was kind of odd too.
I didn't even notice that.
Like, they could hear him talking on the news, and then he was on TV also in the living room.
Maybe they were like really entranced by like that phenomenon of like hearing the person talk, and then you hear it on the TV. Like, it's like, there's like a pause. What is this?
Yeah, like they were like shocked. I'm like, what? Like, this is happening in your house right now. Like it was so interesting.
I don't know. There's not a lot going on upstairs. I really do think they were robots. Like, I don't think they were real people. Like, nothing about them was real. I think it was more alarming than any of the stuff like lighting. Like, they were not real people. I just don't understand. No, they were robots.
Like, the mom's like just walking around listlessly, like just like questioning her like decorating choices in that house like the whole time. And then even that garage is like depressing, and it's a garage. Like they're sitting in the dark garage, and it's like a really bad one. I don't even know why. Like,
Oh,
It's just a bad garage.
They're just like, they're just like in the garage, like staring at each other. And like, yes, that garage was depressing. I thought that too. And the son is just like, like he's eating his feelings like to the max. Like, we get it. That's how you cope. But like, holy moly.
Yeah, it's like try going for a walk or drinking a glass of water. Like,
I mean, how many Sam's Clubs did he hit up when he found that Anne was missing? He was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, and they're like, just give him what he wants. I mean, this guy's a mess. Also, I mean, whatever, you're gonna be like, just go with it. But like, there's handheld shots that are like establishing shots. So like outside of her house, even like showing the house, it's like handheld and shaky. I'm like, that's not necessary for this. Like, you can just throw it on some sticks and get a clear establishing shot of this sad, sad house.
Maybe we need to refilm this, like, and you could direct it.
We need to do a remake pronto. And I'm not casting the same people. Sorry. We're doing a whole revamp of this story. So the brother is like ready to murder every reporter. Like, he's just like, I want to strangle somebody. Like, I have had it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he wanted to strangle somebody like from the get-go. Like, of all the people in there, I was like, he should play the kidnapper because he gave like kidnapper vibes to me.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all of them.
He's unwell, for sure. Okay, so then Anne's walking around, again, cringe, like barefoot on gravel.
Oh, I know.
That's so bad. And she's got like the chain around her neck. That was pretty effective.
Yes, and the chain was like one of the things that in real life, and again, they didn't do this in the film, which I don't understand. That was like one of the things she left behind as a clue for them to like find her. And I was like, guys, you don't need to rewrite this.
You're making it worse, guys.
Yeah, like the actual events of the evidence she left behind. So the whole thing that's like so amazing about this story in real life is that Anne had like the know-how to like leave behind evidence so that she left a trail, which in that situation, that's a lot to think about. That's very calculated. Yeah. Like, that's kind of amazing. And she's 17. She's 17 years old.
Right.
And she did leave behind like the chain that he had her on. And I'm like, she leaves her like initials on a rock, which I was like, first of all, do you know how hard it is to write on a rock? Like,
I've never tried, but it doesn't seem easy.
No. And then the rock was like humongous. Like, it was like a river rock. So you're telling me he's not noticing you like writing on this giant rock? And in the real story where she had left her initials was in, so he had eventually, as they travel, he like goes into like a lot of abandoned cabins, which at that point they're in Montana. So I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense because probably a lot of people have like summer homes or whatever cabins in these like deep woods of Montana. Right. And she had written her initials and the date. And also it said, I love my mom, my dad, and my brother in a book.
Oh, wow.
Which makes way more sense.
Yeah.
A pen and paper. It's very like discreet, but if you're looking through things, you're going to find it.
Of course.
So instead they have her write on a rock.
Right.
Again.
And like, who's walking around like picking up rocks and looking at them? Like,
Anne, are you here?
Yeah. That's really silly.
Yeah, it was just so, their choices were so odd and just weird. They should have just stuck to the actual story. It was perfectly done. You didn't even need much. It's a book.
That's very strange. Thank you for clarifying. You're welcome. So then a Nancy Grace lookalike comes to the parents' house, right?
Yes.
And she's like, you know, I need to take care of things here. You need to go rest, Mom. So go rest. I'll make sure these cops don't like break anything else or damage, I don't know, like the Thomas Kincaid paintings that you guys have. Like, I'll make sure we're all good. And that's when they're crossing state lines, right, into Wyoming.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, they start to like go into Wyoming. So like at this point, Anne is, she's beaten up and she's obviously mentally like messed with. And I
Right.
think
He's eating like wafers in front of her, right?
he's
What's
eating
he
Chips
eating?
Ahoy. It looked like Chips Ahoy, but probably
Oh,
like
okay.
off brand. Like who
Or were
knows?
they pecan sandies? I couldn't tell.
If they were pecan sandies, I would have been excited. I love those cookies.
Yeah. She's like, please give me something.
Yeah.
No.
So she's like battered, abused. I think
Right.
in
Oh, wait. And then he's like, hey, what's your name?
yes, he's like, "What's your yeah? Hey there, kiddo.
Right.
What's your name?"
Right.
She's just like Anne, and
Yeah.
then she actually like kind of has like the smarts to be like, "What's your name?" Like she's
Yeah.
trying to not befriend him, but like they always say like. I don't know why I know so much about this, but they like say like if you're being like attacked or like someone
Yeah.
has a gun to you, you should always give like a lot of personal information to be
Right.
like, I'm a mom, I'm a, like, like I have this going on, like so that the killer feels like you're actually like a human and they start to like
Yeah.
not like they're not so they don't look at you as like an object they're about to kill. And
Right.
so she asked him, what's your name? And he's just like, they call me Jack Rabbit or something, or is like
Yeah.
my grandma called me Jack Rabbit.
Yeah.
But he like tells her like I'm Tony Zappa, which is like the best mob name like ever.
It's good. That's
It's
a good
really
mob
good.
name.
I know. I was
And-
like,
Yeah,
Tony
but he's
Zappa.
not. I mean, he like wears flannel. But he says he's fast and strong, and then
Yeah.
he shows her the gun, right?
yes.
Okay.
And doesn't she say to him like, does she say? I wrote you must work out a lot. Did
Yeah,
she
she's
say
like,
that?
wow, you must work out a lot.
Yeah. So she's
Yeah.
trying to be like complimentary and stuff and like kind of like, be like a female beefing up his ego. Because throughout this film, they're trying to make it seem like he is like the reason why he's doing this is because he had a very like weird upbringing.
Yeah.
He's very like was abused as a child. And
Right.
his sister in the court case, like in the real trial, like says like our dad was like really abusive. Like we lived in cars, like
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. But Annan's trying to like play up on that like his ego and be like, yeah, you look good, like you must work out, like trying to be like, you do look fast and strong, just agreeing with him so that he's like, oh, she's not so bad, to keep herself like alive so that
Yeah.
hopefully he'll like her and
Right.
she'll stay, and it works. I mean, she
Yeah.
did survive this.
That's true.
The one thing though that I wrote down is, and I thought this was interesting too, and I don't know if this was real life, but he says he grew up like in a really like religious home, and his grandma like really instilled like the Bible, and he lists a Bible verse which I didn't write down specifically, but that basically it was like you work hard and like you do the right thing, and but you can tell, and this really bothered me because like I'm a believer in things like that, and one of the things that gets me so upset is when I see people take like a Bible verse and use it to like put fear in people. Like they use it for their own like just to like make people afraid so that they do things, like coerce people into doing things for them. And if that actually happened in his childhood, like that just makes me just so upset. I see that now politically, like it's all over the place. And, that is not at all what the Bible preaches. It's about love. Like you should not be afraid. But she comes back with another Bible verse and says, but Jesus like says like do the right thing, he'll forgive you. So she's trying to like use every angle to be like, you don't have to do this. Like, you can do the right thing. You can let me go. And I thought that was really, really smart. If that all happened, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was very smart. And she definitely had a way of like tapping into like all of his shortcomings and like insecurities.
Yeah.
And like used it. And that was, yes, very, very smart, especially to your point, like if you're in the middle of that kind of chaos, to think to even do that.
Yeah.
So then, she's like, there's a lot of people looking for me and like 60 cops, looking for me as well. And he's like, well, tell everybody you're going on vacation.
Yeah.
right?
Right. Which he's like, you're going to make a phone call and you're going to tell them that you're okay and that you're just going on vacation. And she wasn't supposed to call her parents.
Right.
So she, in the film, she does call and her friend's mom answers. But actually in like the actual case, she did call her family and she asked for her mom by her first name because she knew that he didn't know her mom's first name. So she pretended that was her friend.
Yeah.
Which was also very, very smart and kind of dangerous if you think about it. Because like the mom might be like, it's me, mom. Like, where are you? And
I love you.
I love you. Yeah. But she says that at the end, she goes, I'm going on equality vacation.
Right.
And so like Reading Rainbow for some reason like picks it up and he goes, wait a second, play it back. He's like, that does not say equality. It says equality. And he's just like, where is equality? You know, like where is that like there's an equality in Wyoming.
Right.
Which, how did you know that? I don't know.
I mean, that was insane. I was like, huh?
Yeah. He put two and two together.
He did. And then can we talk about how the phone booth was like really well lit and like James Vanderbeek has a gun to her head in the phone booth? Like anybody driving by could see like what was happening. Like clear as day.
I mean, but like what are like the laws in like Nebraska, Wyoming? Like what is conceal and carry? Like are people just like that's normal? Like, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I
don't know.
I think about that because I'm like, here we're like in the like where we live in Illinois, people do conceal and carry, but it's not like out there and like is it less like thought about in areas where like that's more like
I think you're right. Like I don't know. I was driving by like a Jules yesterday and I saw the like, whatever guy that does the money truck, you know, like the armored car.
Yeah.
And like his gun was like out, like not out, but it was like in his holster, like in his pants or whatever. And I still get like freaked out. Like I'm like, oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
There's like a gun. Like,
yes.
Or even cops sometimes. I'm like, whoa, do they know they have a gun on them? Like it just like is kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in a lot of states, they're just like, yep, the gun is on the table. And we're eating dinner. Like
yeah, like it's not like this big deal. And it's like, people, it's just kind of more rural. And I just don't think that like, I don't know. I mean, putting it to someone's head, obviously, I think anybody would be like, what's going on?
Right.
Well, like, would they be as alarmed as somebody like who comes from an area where that's not so much the case? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was just like, wow, I could really see what's going on in that phone booth.
I think you were taken aback because the lighting was actually good. And so in your heart, you were like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by that. So then, okay, I'm pretty sure now you could get like a trace instantly, right? Like if you get a phone call, like they can trace like in a few seconds.
Yes.
But back then, I think it took like 5 minutes of somebody staying on the phone.
Well, with that police force it did. Like, I don't know what it was in 2001. It was definitely not like even now, she definitely would have a cell phone. I mean, she'd be pinged. Something would be going on.
Right.
Or he would have one. I can't imagine anybody really without some sort of like GPS system. I mean, you'd have to have a very like my car, like a really old car, not to have like something where you can track. Like this kind of brings up the point. Like, how hard is it to like kidnap somebody nowadays? Like, I know it still happens, but like, think about how much more. This is getting weird, but like, think about how much more you have to like think about to like carry this out. I mean, I think it'll be very interesting to see like where made for TV movies based on like true stories like are in 20 years, like what, it's going to look like because with the age of like really the change in technology with like the cell phone, it's so completely different.
We'll be AI bots doing this podcast. So that'll be really funny. Okay. So what is this Dan McGrew thing? What is that poem that he recites?
What I thought was really interesting about this film too is like, because I don't know if this is real life, but they made him seem really actually like intelligent, like not so much, but like if he had been in a good home and like,
Yeah.
fostered in the right way and like stuff. Like he actually was like a person that like felt deeply and
Yeah.
just was like really, really lonely and misguided and was looking for, because like in the film, there's like that weird scene, I'm sure we'll talk about it, where like he visualizes her as his wife.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so like, and he, like he doesn't kill her, which
Right.
maybe he was going to. Like we don't really, know she's saved, but there's just something about him. Like I felt like they were trying to like play on his like humanness and just like his emotional depth. And I thought for the film, like that was like interesting. If there's gonna be something interesting in this,
Right.
but like and I don't know if that was really the case in real life. Like, I don't know how much this guy was like citing Bible passages. I don't know how much this guy was citing like some sort of poem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much of that is like legit, but for the film's sake, it kind of made you like see him as like he has more layers than just like some ruthless like kidnapper.
Well, that's the thing. I think that is a good point because it's like a lot of criminals are really successful because they're very smart.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds of smart. And if people get thrown away, it doesn't mean that they're not smart or
Right.
capable of a lot. And
Right.
so I'm sure he was or is, very able and intelligent. And it's unfortunate that, this is like kind of his path and journey that he decided to go on.
Yeah.
So, okay, then mom's laying in bed and she's like, I don't even own a black dress. And it's like, what? Why?
First of all, she doesn't need one because she's just like, she's living in Canada. She's happy as a clam. Like she's a robot. Like she doesn't need anything. She just needs her battery pack to keep her going. Like she's fine.
But that was just, come on.
don't even own a
There's
black
like
dress.
a Kohl's down the street, I'm sure. Or, she probably, or there's catalogs still. Maybe she does catalog shopping, like Spiegel. But like, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
Yeah. They played the parents dirty. Like they were so bad.
Yeah. They could have used some dirty. I would have been more interested. That's for sure. All right. So then they're in Montana
Yes.
and he like breaks down the door
Of like a
right?
cabin. Yeah.
And it's got those horrible like icicle lights, like you just know they're up year round. They're like dusty. Oh my gosh. I was like, that is so disturbing. And he gives her some kind of slop to eat.
It's like roadkill. Like it's like a skunk or something. Like it's definitely like an animal that like he ran over or found in the backyard and strangled. Like I don't know, but it's bad. That
it looked real bad.
And I mean, yeah, like I don't know if that happened, but if it did, that was one of the things that really stood out to me because it made me gaggy, and I knew it was a prop. Like,
yeah,
he's like, eat up, and like, but like, where did he find the potatoes? Like, I was like, you mean mashed potatoes? Like, couldn't we just start with that? Like, that's plenty.
Well, that's an interesting tie through because maybe he buys the same instant potatoes as her family.
Maybe Anne just always has a box of instant mash in her like backpack because her brother's like, I need it now.
That's right. That's right.
Give it to him. He needs his instant mashed. I don't know. But it was like, yeah, it was like roadkill-y, and it was like instant mash. And of all the things, I would have just housed the potatoes and been like, I'm full, and just left it. But he's like, eat up. What's
he makes
wrong?
her eat it.
Yeah. He's
And
like, if you don't eat, then my grandma used to say, like, if you don't finish your plate, then you don't eat again.
Right. And like, again, I'm sure he's the type that would have like, pulled her hair and like stuck her face in the plate. Like it was so upsetting.
Yes.
And then, yeah, like you said, he fantasizes about her like being his
wife.
real life partner. And she has that like really bad yellow dress on. It's really, really disturbing.
Yes. And he gives her, I don't know if this is before or after he says, I got to take a piss, but he gives her like a ring that he like finds. And he's like, wear it. And he tries to like put it on her ring finger like he's proposing. And she's just like, no. I'll
Right.
put it on my own finger. Thank you.
Right. Ew. Just ew.
It's so
And
gross.
then, so that's when there's like a bunch of candles, right? It's like very like,
Moody. Yes.
Yeah.
Again, where, like, okay, you have a cabin. I get it. You probably have some candles in case you lose like electricity or something like that. Like, that
Sure.
would make sense. But like, I would think one, they'd have generators because
Yeah.
if you're going to live like in rural Montana, like,
Right.
you're going to need a generator, I would assume. And two, like, it's not like, okay, 3 or 4 candles. It's like 40 candles. Like, he pre-planned this.
Yes.
And was like, here we go,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. It was real disturbing.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, she finds a phone. Jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's prepping some like creepy syringe, right? To stick
Yeah.
her with.
Was that him drugging her? Like, I never really understood that in the film. I was like, is he roiding? Is that him like drugging her? Like, it's not really clear because there's like 2 or 3 times where he's getting his syringe ready, but I never see him like stick her or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you would think he would have drugged her by now. So that was probably for him. So she calls 911 and she gives that operator like a lot of info.
That actually happened.
Wow.
I know that actually happened. She did. And when they were looking for cabins in like the real story, there were people that answered
Oh my gosh.
the door. Yeah. And then,
That's crazy.
yeah. And Tony would be like, oh,
Sad.
yeah. Like, actually, he had people that would like answer. And I don't know why they wouldn't call the cops. Like,
Right.
she's got to be like filthy by now. Like, I'm assuming he's not letting her shower. And
Yeah.
she's beat up because when she leaves, when she's saved, she has like lacerations, a bruised eye. Like,
Right.
she doesn't look good. And I don't know if it was just like, oh, whatever, I don't want to get involved. But
Right.
yeah, there were people that actually answered the door, and he would just go to the next house, like the neighbor's house, and just bust in.
I was like, how is that phone even connected? Like, who's paying that phone bill? Like, who is like taking care of that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why is there
what?
electricity? Like, I guess you don't turn everything off. I guess you don't.
I guess.
Because you want to like, yeah, like you'd want to keep things, but like, do you shut off your water? I don't know. I don't know anything about
either.
that world. I have no idea.
I was just shocked there was like a working phone.
Yes, and she did do
mean-
that. She did call 911. She did disclose, and they did come out,
Yeah.
but they were gone. And she had
Right.
left. I think this is when she had left. So after he like, this is not in the movie, in real life. After he had like raped her one time,
Yeah.
he was burning her clothes because he was trying to like burn evidence.
Yeah.
And she somehow saved her like underpants and like
Wow.
with like blood and semen and all those things because she was a virgin.
Yeah. Oh my God. Really?
She was a virgin.
Oh,
I know. So
heartbreaking.
because in the court case,
Yeah.
Tony Zappa, whatever, he like was like, she was consensual and she was not a virgin and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, Tony, like we examined her. She was definitely a virgin. Like you raped her.
Yeah. They're
so
like, she didn't want to do that. Yeah. For sure.
So she saved the underwear and like threw it in a garbage can like near the cabin that they found. So like it had his semen on it and like her blood and everything like that. Which again, he's burning her clothes. Like, I mean,
Right.
how did she like do all of this? That's like amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That truly is. So, okay. So then when the FBI comes, it's just like a stereo that's on because they're gone. Right. So those are.
Yes.
That's,
oh,
like, what they
yeah.
heard.
Because
Yeah.
they do show that. And they like come in the house and like they see all the candles. And then like my favorite part was when the like guy found like the roadkill.
Yes, I wrote that too. Like, it's the most horrible thing he's ever seen. He's like an effing SWAT team FBI agent, and that's like the worst thing he's
like,
ever discovered.
Oh man, I'd rather see a dead body than someone
Yeah.
eat a skunk.
He was so upset. Yeah.
And then this was great. So this must have been the cabin where they found the book where she had
Yeah.
like written her initials. Instead, she had written a note on a friggin' leaf, on a dead leaf from a tree. And okay, I craft a lot, and
Yeah,
I can
you do.
tell you firsthand that if you put pen or pencil to a fallen leaf, it is brittle. It
Oh,
will not,
sure.
you have to paint it on. It is not going to hold that. So why, Gary? Like, why did you pick that as the prop? Why did you just not be normal and be like, there's an old book in a bookshelf, like what anybody would have in their home. Here's a pen, write it down. You're
Right.
going to make her sit there like she had the time to delicately craft a message on a fallen oak leaf. Like, it was just so absurd and stupid, and it made me mad. As a crafter, it pissed me off. I was like, this is ludicrous.
Yeah,
ludicrous.
that's beyond ridiculous and unnecessary.
Unnecessary. It was just
Unnecessary.
like, it was like taking something normal and just being like, make it as stupid as you can. And they're just like,
Right.
yes, that makes sense. I don't know. That really bugged me. I will
Yeah.
forgive you for the lighting, but I will never forgive you for that.
They're like, you know what this movie needs more of? Stupidity. So anything we can do for that, let's crank it up. Yeah, that's bizarre. Okay, then the brother's like, I'm gonna go do this myself, and punches Reading Rainbow. What?
Well, he's like sugared up at this point. Like, how many pixie stick packs has he gone through? Like, he's just like, like he's ready to blow. And
Yeah, he's ready. And what's that candy we used to get at the pool where you dip the stick in
Lickamaid.
sugar? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like making protein powder shakes, but it's Lickamaid instead of
Yeah.
like protein
Yeah.
powder. Like, he is so fired. Like, he's
Yeah.
like, I gotta kill
He's
somebody.
foaming at the mouth.
Yeah,
He's
and it's like,
foaming at the mouth.
we know you probably do kill people, but you need to
Right.
hold it down. Like,
That's right. Like, if this hadn't happened to his sister, he would have been out kidnapping somebody.
you're
You
ruining
know?
my plans.
Yeah. So he punches Reading Rainbow, which is,
No.
I think, a federal offense. Like, right?
Yeah, and Reading Rainbow just like absorbs it. Like, he's just like, oh, like,
Yeah. He's like, I understand. It's like, what? This guy should be behind bars.
yeah.
Yeah.
That guy,
No.
maybe not her real brother, but that guy probably is. Like, he was crazy looking.
He was wacky. Okay, so then Tony Zappa's like screaming at her, right? Back in the car.
Yeah, he's like, why
Yeah.
did you call? What are you thinking? Like, what?
Right.
You know, like, that's it. Like, now I have to kill you because you're
Right.
just like, you're messing with me. Like, you're going to screw this up for me. So
Right.
he like brings her out to like another abandoned, field, which in Montana, I'm sure that's aplenty. And
yeah.
she just starts like, he gives her a shovel and he's like, dig. Like, you're going to dig your own grave.
Yeah. So then we learn he was like arrested over 20 times. He's like escaped everything. He's
Yes.
like this like genius, which I wasn't really getting from this portrayal of this character. Like, he hasn't even changed his clothes in like days. Like,
Yeah.
he's not slick. Like,
Again, I think that's a Yates choice because like they did burn their clothes and like he was definitely trying to like keep them off his scent. So I
Right.
think that was like a Yates choice. And also, let's face it, a budget choice. Like,
yeah.
costume department was Dawson Creek's like his own personal. Like, and he's probably like, I'm not ruining this flannel for this film. Like,
Yeah, you're right. I think that all tracks.
Yeah.
So then back at the house, they're like, Reading Rainbow, like, you stay with this lame family. We're going to go get, and he's like, hell no. Like, I'm not staying with them. I'm going. Like, I'm going into the field with you guys.
he's like I shouldn't be punished like for
yeah,
this.
he's like, no, sorry. No, I'm getting out of here. So then the mom's like looking through all of Anne's accomplishments in her room.
She's like creepily touching everything. Like, it was so
Yeah.
odd.
There's also not one picture of Anne that's like flattering or like where she's like actually looking at the camera, which is strange.
I mean, that is strange. Although
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
notorious for really bad pictures, so who knows? It
Yeah,
could
but they're
be
not
real.
like framed all over your house either. So that was a little
That's true.
odd.
Yeah.
So, okay, then yes, he rapes her, which is horrible. But,
Right. And they
you
make
know,
it seem like in this film that this is like the first time he rapes her, which
yeah,
it is not. Like he consistently raped her like over the what was it, 5 days they were together,
yeah,
6 days they were together. Like it wasn't just one time. And they kind of made it like, but he did do all of those things, like because I read again like the court and when she explains it, like he took a knife and like cut her clothes off and like
Yeah.
all that stuff where like, because I even wrote, I'm like, that wouldn't happen. He would just go to town. But like, no, he did do all of those things. So it was like a rape, but it just seemed like also like mind, like, I don't know, like to take a knife out and like cut off your
Yeah.
clothes. I mean, you're alone in the woods. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of weird mental unnecessary things.
yeah. I mean, and again, that's like horrendous, but like I did not feel anything the way this was done. Like I was like, all right. I mean, like it's like, it didn't do it justice. Like that's a horrendous thing to have
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, let's move on, Gary. All right. So then he's like, get cleaned up, right?
Yes. So this is like the last day. I think it's
Yeah.
like the final, like, not resting place because no one dies, but like the final like place where they like pop into. And okay, first of all, what is up with that playground? I was like,
Okay.
I'm getting flashbacks to No One Would Tell, like
Yeah.
with the like weird, creepy like playground side that was outside of his house. Like, what is going on?
I know that should be one of our categories.
Yes, creepy playground.
Creepy playground
Okay.
equipment.
Yeah.
Just add it to any scene.
And it immediately will make it ominous, like that
Yeah.
old like 70s, 80s, like metal, like just and then
Yeah.
it was bad. And there's like
It was.
they have like a rain barrel, it looks like out front, like that.
Oh, yeah. Get cleaned up with this stagnant water and no towel? Like, sure.
The owners of the house left a mirror. So like, do they just come and wash up there? Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, usually people leave those out to like, I don't know, water their garden, like, yeah, it's like the whole family. Like, that's the weird thing about like this place too. It's like the people that actually live there, like they bathe in this barrel because there's a mirror.
Right.
So it was just very, very weird. And this house, like, first of all, also like I thought I saw like a pool in the back.
Yes.
And like it's gigantic. Like it's like vaulted like ceilings, like it's a huge house. But then as you walk in, like it looks like there was a fire or like somebody like freaked out and like the chandeliers on the ground, like
Yes. The chandelier and all of there was like more candles, right?
he actually does turn on the chandelier, which again, in my notes, I'm like, how is that thing still working? Like,
Right.
it's off, it's like mount on the ceiling. But
Yeah.
yeah, there might have been candles. I don't know. It was moody, let's just say.
I will say she's a decent crier.
Yes, I know. I don't know what actress this is or if she's been in anything else, but I thought she was pretty good.
Yeah, she was decent for sure. Like I believed her and I was like, okay, And so then she's like, why did you take me? Right. And he's like, I'm tired of being alone.
Oh, you know what? We need to backtrack one thing. We didn't talk about like the grandma. We were at the grandma.
Oh yeah. We were just saying the grandma looks rough. Yeah.
Yeah, the grandma looks rough and she like is saying he's a good boy. Like he wouldn't do these things, like, and they're like, no, he did. And they're kind of like, we need you to like, reach out to him so that he like, maybe if he hears from like a person that helped raise him, he'll kind of come to his senses and like let her go.
Right.
And so now they're inside. So we see her like scrub herself in the rain barrel and she like looks at herself for the first time in the mirror and she's just like, wow, like that scene, I was like, that's kind of like the hospital scenes of all the films, where like
Yes.
someone's been in an accident and then
Yes.
they like show their face. Like I can imagine that's probably such a weird moment because like, when you have like the flu and then like you haven't like checked on how you look in like 2 or 3 days
Right.
and you look in the mirror and you're just like, whoa, like what is going on?
Yeah. No, that was definitely that for her. She's like, oh, he actually has been really torturing me.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's beaten up but you can see in her face like when she sees herself, it's almost like she gets angry and she's
Yes.
like super determined, like that's it. Like I'm gonna survive this. Like I am going to fight this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like, after she like furiously scrubs her skin off,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, you look nice in that. Like that Land's End outfit.
Yeah.
It's like covered in mothballs.
Oh, I know. That was so gross.
It was real.
So she like she puts like on like she finds like a TV set.
Mhm.
And this actually did happen. Because again, I was like, there's no way she's finding like a television and like turning it
Yeah.
on and just so happens to be like the story of her like, kidnapping.
Right.
Like,
There's
but
no way a remote has batteries that work. Right?
so Tony's got to go take a dump because he like alludes to that and takes his toilet paper and he's like, don't make a noise. And it's like, oh, who am I going to yell to? And she turns on the TV. She's feeling very low. She's having a moment where like she's sobbing.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Right.
And she turns on the TV and it just so happens to be like Manhunt for, Annie Sluti or Ann Sluti, and her parents are on there and they're just like, Anne, we love you. As emotionless as you could be.
And
Like, yeah, as emotionless as they could be. They're just like, Anne, we love you.
Yeah.
We want you to come home.
right.
And she's just like, they're looking like I'm gonna, like I can make it. And she sees him like coming up, and she like quickly like turns off the TV.
Right.
And he's just like, I heard something. And doesn't he like turn it on and sees like the news, and they call him like the Jackrabbit or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's like totally like turned on by that.
Yeah.
So he's just like, oh no, they're on to us. And so like Anne, I don't know if she was the one that suggested it, but obviously she's the smarter of the two for sure.
Right.
And is like, we need a new car,
Yeah.
which they did get a new car. Like they did do that. Like they parked the car and he like stole like a regular sedan or like a
Like a station
know.
wagon, I think.
like a station wagon. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that like tipped off the person that like ended up, because this wasn't their final place actually.
Right.
They do go to one more location.
Right.
So that is incorrect. And that location, that is the place with like the chandelier on the ground and blah, blah, blah. But like he did steal it. So in the film, she leaves. This is why I thought about this film for like forever until I rewatched it. She leaves like a note in like she finds the bear that her like boyfriend she could care less about like gave her.
Yeah.
It was like a little like squeaky toy looking thing.
Right.
And I don't know why I remembered it as like purple and velvet. I wish it would have been, but it is not. And she sticks a note in there and puts it like on the bottom, like behind the like passenger seat of the car that they leave behind that she has been in. And that is one of the clues that they find reading Rainbow finds. And he's just like, wait a second. Like, that's not like, okay, like that wouldn't stick out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes. He doesn't have a dog. Like, it's like, what is this? Like, that wouldn't stick out. And like finds it and like knows to pop its head off. And finds a note. And I think why that like resonated with me, I was just like, note to self, if you're ever taken, you need to leave behind clues. No, and I was like, do I leave a wad of hair? Like, do I find, like, I was like, always try to find an obscure object of yourself, like a gum wrapper, anything, and leave it in the car. Which, like, isn't like a bad thing to like remember, but it's just also like it's so preposterous, and that never even happened like in the real life events. So why did they write that in?
Right. It's like so ridiculous. It's like, why even make a movie based on a true story if you're just it's so preposterous.
And the true story is like way better than what they wrote in the film.
Right.
Like, and it was way more like realistic and believable.
Yeah.
So why did they go out of their way to show this like, oh, because she gives Reading Rainbow the bear. He gives her the bear at the end. So that's how Yates is trying to like bring it full circle.
Yeah.
He screwed with my mind. Yates, you screwed with my mental mind for so long, and it stops today.
Yates, we challenge you to come on this podcast and answer.
You need to answer. I have lived for 15 years or whatever it's been thinking about this.
Yeah.
And we need to talk. So you need to contact
Yates,
us, please.
You need to get on here. All right. Then they go to Flathead Lake, which I've actually been to in Montana.
Oh my gosh, really? It looks so beautiful.
It is. If you're ever really hungover, just jump in that lake and you'll snap out of it instantly. It is a very, very cold, beautiful lake. So I highly recommend. For what ails ya. Okay, then there's an old dude, and he's like, oh, this car looks weird. He's also wearing like an older than dirt hat, like in case you couldn't tell. I mean, the way that movie's going, I'm surprised they didn't have Anne wearing that hat. You know, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. But I think that was one of the things that like he knew the house was not occupied. Mm-hmm. So when he saw the car, and I think he actually knew the car as well.
Yeah.
Like I think it was a neighbor that he knew, and he was just like, wait a second, what is going on? So he calls the police, which is amazing.
Yeah, that was. And then I wrote, these houses are all so ugly. Just to remind myself. So yeah, this is where there's the functioning chandelier on the floor, and then the merry-go-round horse, and it has saloon doors. So basically in hell, right?
So so like, and like the older than dirt guy, like, wouldn't you be like? He's just like, the old McDonald house. Like, it's just like,
yeah.
Have you been inside? What happened there? Can we talk about that?
Can we have your story? Spin-off movie.
Oh my gosh.
All right, yeah. So they're in that house. Okay, so then they're finally like located. And they are surrounded by floodlights. Like, they are drowned. They're like, we can still see people. We need more lights. Like, that was insane. So then he's like, this is your fault, Anne. You know, because he's like, this is just your fault that they found us. And can we talk about the crosshair shots? Like
the crosshair?
Yeah, like when they're pointing the gun and the crosshair like is taking up the entire frame. Like
I don't even notice these things. Stephanie, you have to understand. That's amazing that you picked that out. Like, I love that. And I'm so glad that we have this like dynamic, because I am so much on the other side of like watching this that I'm just like, this is real. This is Hallmark. This is Yates. And you're like, what the what? Like,
I mean, they found like a free crosshair filter and just threw it on every single shot where they're pointing.
I don't even like, I wouldn't have even thought of that. That's so interesting. I love it.
It really was interesting to see. I haven't seen that done before. All right. So he's like, I'm not going back to prison, you know?
Yeah.
And
he does not want to go back. And he's just like, that's it. I'm going to like kill you and then kill myself. Like what all these basic, like cowardly people do once they're caught. It's like, well, now you get to die and I get to die and nobody's happy. So there you go.
Yeah. So then Anne calls the FBI.
Yes.
How does she call them?
I think she calls her house.
Oh, right. Okay. And they're all like,
she calls her house
to Anne. And they're like, shut up. Like, you idiot.
Yes.
Okay. So then, like, they're trying to negotiate.
Yes.
Right. And
Yeah, and they're like, Tony wants to call his grandma.
right. She's like, what would grandma say? You know, and it's
Yeah, what would grandma do?
racist.
Bob Chud's going to be so mad at you.
Yes. So then Reading Rainbow just full up stops following procedure. Like he's like, we
Yes.
need to call this grandma, you know?
Right now. Yes. He's just like, he doesn't even talk like that. I don't know why he said it like that, but he's just like, yeah, you need to call like right now. Like we need to do this.
Right. Right. So then they call grandma and Tony's like, I'm scared, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And the grandma's just like, you're better than this. Like you can do it.
yeah, because he's talking murder suicide, right? So like he's about to shoot her. So grandma's like, all right, let's just pray, you know?
Yeah.
And
Right. Which again is like kind of like that part, like I was like, that was interesting, like to bring back like the religious like aspect of it. And like, because like he made it seem like he grew up in this like militant, crazy, like cult
right.
of a house. And then like you kind of have this grandma on there who seems very merciful.
Yeah. Well, she's old and feeble. I mean, back in the day when she was little grandma, she was probably like pretty rough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's losing steam.
Yeah.
All right. So then Anne's like, don't hurt him, you know, like, don't hurt him. And
Right.
they're like, sure, Anne.
Well, she's saying that because she wants to like live, because like
Yeah.
Tony, like he does whisper, and this did happen where he's like, I don't want to get shot, like I don't want to die,
Right.
like please tell them not to shoot me. And so she's just kind of like, I have to keep him calm,
Right.
and reassure him that like they're not going to shoot him, even though obviously like if he tries anything, they're gonna shoot him, like
Right.
that's just protocol.
But I mean, again, it's like they look like possums on like a night camera. Like they're like the light is just so intense. Like I can't even see it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, the FBI or whatever, like, they hang up on her, or does he hang up the phone? I can't remember. And she, like, picks it up, and she's just like, okay, if we come out, like, this is when that's what happens. Because she's like, if we come out, like, we're going to put our hands up, and, like, you can't shoot him. Like,
Right.
like, it's going to be okay. And in my mind, I'm like, that's amazing. And she did, like, negotiate,
Yeah.
and she did, like, trick him out of the house. Like, she did all of that in real life. Like, this girl is smart.
She is.
But wouldn't the phone be like, eh? Like, I was like, she's out there for a while. Like, wouldn't it be like, like, you know, like it's off the hook?
Yes. Good catch.
I was like, and like, that's not realistic. Like,
Yeah.
it would be like, and she just keeps going.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, like, let's surrender. Like,
Right.
she's like, you and me together, baby. Like,
Right.
it's just like, and the way, like, yeah, so they come out, and he has her, like, of course, in front of her, and they're just like, you know,
Yeah.
she's like, just she turns around and looks at him, and she's like, just, it'll be okay.
Right.
Like, just keep your hands up, like, everything's okay. And the minute he, like, lets her, like, go,
Yep.
she knows. She's like, see ya, and
Right.
she, like, bolts away. It's like slow-mo, and I loved his face when they pan over to, like, James Vanderbeek's face. He's just like, what?
Right. He's like, I had no idea. And like, I mean, okay, this is what I wanted to circle back to. Can we talk about how she grabs Reading Rainbow? Like they're like she
Yes.
just proposed or something. What? And then we said he was like a family friend or something, right? But I was like, seriously? Like this is like an embrace to end all
You know,
embraces.
yes. Well, that part, plus the part where Anne somehow walks by the cop car that Tony's like apprehended in, and throws the ring at the window, like, take that, cheating boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Tony's face is just like, what?
Right.
It's like, I'm like, yeah, she's just waiting. They're just waiting for her to save the Christmas tree farm. Like, again, this was so Hallmarky. Like, it was like this is Yates all the way. Like, he has a brand and he sticks to it. It doesn't matter what the story is, you're gonna get it. Like, he's just authentic to what he knows. And
committed. And
this was that moment for him.
Like, Tony's
he's like,
we're on vacation and we're
yeah. He's like, Yates's directorial notes are like, 1, let them know the loser boyfriend's out of the picture. 2, embrace your true love. 3, get home to the Christmas tree farm. And he's just like, that is what you do in films. It doesn't matter what it is.
No, you're right. So that Reading Rainbow's like, you look fantastic. I'm like, I mean, she's alive, but he's like, yeah, you look great.
Yeah, and he gives her the bear. He's like, remember this? She's like, crap, I tried to ditch that. Like, now I have to keep it. Thanks.
Yeah. I was like, what is happening? So then she's reunited with her family.
Okay, this was so freaking weird.
Yeah.
So I had to look this up. In the real case, of course, her parents like fly out to immediately be with her. Like, they're not pausing. It's not like, could you give her a ride home?
Right.
It's like, no, like, we're getting to our daughter. Like, oh my gosh, she's alive. She's well, wherever she is in Siberia, I'm going. Instead, she's just like hanging out in the backseat of the car, like, do. And he's just like, oh, well, I'll drive you home since it's on my way to the post office.
Yeah.
And parents come out, and the way they look at her, it was like, sorry, honey, my pot pie was still cooking. You're home? Let's eat.
Right.
Like, it's so emotionless.
It is. And the brother's cry face is awesome. That was a good cry face.
He's probably just mad that his Marie calendar is getting cold. Like, he's just like, I don't know, in another world.
Yeah. I mean, that face was good. And then Reading Rainbow is just like, you know, I can do anything. Because I guess he's engaged now to Anne.
Well, he's just like, okay, I dropped her off. He's like an Uber driver. He's just out. Like, he's just like, bring her up, see you later. Like, it's just so, the human emotion in this is just so weird. I don't think it's truthful at all. And again, why did they stray from the truth?
Right.
The truth was way better than the film.
Yeah. So they're like, you're safe back in mediocrity, you know, like, we're so happy, you know. And so that was kind of like, you know, it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they go on to be like, okay, an update. Like, she went on to become like a biomedical engineer.
Right. And then when I read that, I was like, okay, because I actually know quite a few biomed people. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, the pragmatism, like.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes
I agree. Sense. Exactly. And that's exactly the first word. I was like, pragmatic. Like, that's like the first thing that came to my mind, because I saw like in an interview, they were asking the family like years later, like how, or a while later, like, how is it going and stuff. And the family was just like, Anne did not like let this event slow her down. Like, she went to college, she's doing great. And they were like, she didn't even seek therapy because she was like, why am I going to talk to a stranger about the events that happened? Like, it's over.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that hit me like, what? Like, you didn't go to therapy? Like, wouldn't you be just like, I mean, I would be like, I don't know if I'd ever leave therapy. Like, that would just be so difficult to process. But I think there's just some people, like, I'm never going to tell anybody how they should like grieve or how they should get through something. It was just like jolting to me because that just seemed like so odd. But like, that's it. She's very pragmatic. She's just kind of like, I don't need to like let this affect me. I'm going to live my life, and I'm not going to give this guy a single minute, a second anymore of like anything to do in my life, and I'm going to make good on this. And I thought that's really interesting that some people have that ability to just totally be like, you're not worth my time, so I'm not going to give it to you.
It is interesting. Like, and like you said, like, we're not going to judge anyone's process.
No.
Like, it's definitely not something I'd be able to do, but
no, me either.
She did. So hopefully she is doing well. And
yes.
So he's behind bars, right? No possibility for parole.
Correct. Yeah.
Pilot.
He's in there for life for like, I mean, he had so many things against him. He also like, you know, they were trying to track him at the Mall of America before he kidnapped her.
Right.
And then obviously like all the things he did, it was like, you're not going to be allowed in society.
Yeah. Right. Well, that is
And
good.
he throughout the trial, like he really tried to make it seem like she wanted to go with him and that this was like a vacation and she consented to sex and like all of these things. And he really painted like a fictional tale in his mind. Maybe it was to justify what he did. I don't really know. Maybe he was trying to get out of it. I don't know how he thought he would win the case. And also, like I brought this up in a different like episode. Like I just think of like the defense, like a lawyer, and it's just like, how do you defend this? How do you go in with the story of like, yeah, she wanted it? Like, I don't know what lawyer would agree to that. Like, it's just so weird to me that there's like people that also like have a job where it's so obvious that the person is like wrong.
Yeah.
And you're going to try to make it seem like it was on her. Like, I don't get that at all.
Well, I guess they have to like weigh it because sometimes like it's not obvious, right? And people need defense. And, you know, some people just want money, Liz. So probably part of it.
Gary Yates is not one of them. He does it for the craft and the craft only.
That's right.
That is it.
Yeah. We challenge you.
I mean, I'm not trying to bag on him. I love his work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I obviously like love this movie. I hate this movie. And that's a lot of those movies. Like, I know I shouldn't like it, but I do like it.
It's okay. You know, we all like certain things. And this was like a new experience for me, you know, and I do appreciate that. So, you know, thank you for the reco. I was like, I don't want to wait for this movie to be over. You know, but I did. I did the whole thing with all my notes. So
I'm so proud of you.
So yeah. So I guess I wouldn't recommend this movie, but if you're interested, definitely check it out.
I mean, it's a good one to like, again, fold your laundry to and not really get that involved.
Yeah.
I think if you want to just like space out,
Yeah.
go for it.
Go for it. Give it a whirl, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we have a really, really nice selection of movies for season 2. So we're super excited.
Yes.
And we are streaming on Spotify and also rss.com. And
nice.
Our email info is available in our episode descriptions. So please feel free to reach out. We really appreciate all of the listeners and all of the support. It's been really, really awesome to get and kind of surprising. So
I know. I was like, there's more than just my family. And guess what? Not even my family.
That's right.
So like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like listener family.
Yeah, especially the strangers. Thank you.
Yes. Like I can't even believe that. And I hope we're entertaining and you just kind of have a moment where you can like relax and laugh.
Yeah. So we're just going to keep giving you this content.
Giving you what you want.
We thank you. We thank you.
Yes.
We will not see you, but we will be back soon with another episode. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.